friends! I used to think watercolor was only for pros, but now I'm learning fast. Today I'll show you how simple it can be with an Insparea lesson. Here's what I've already painted. It was so smooth, it made me fall in love with painting all over again. And today, Lampione Veneziano. Ooh, sounds fancy already, right? Let me show you what's inside the Insparea kit. You open this elegant white gift box, and inside, magic. No, seriously, you get everything you need. A beautiful linen pouch with masking fluid, paraffin wax, color abbreviations, and test swatches. A thick, textured watercolor paper, 140 pounds. No buckling, even when soaked. Squirrel imitation brushes. And this amazing Insparea workbook with 17 Italian landscape lessons. Yes, 17! That's more than Netflix episodes in a mini-series. Fun fact, I used to paint only flowers, but now I'm hooked on landscapes. It's my new thing! Convenient metal box, 12 pro-level vibrant hues that can challenge famous brands. Smooth, highly pigmented hues, luckily the same ones I'm used to. Now let's begin painting. First step, mixing colors. I check the Insparea instructions for abbreviations. Oops, forgot to change my water. Again, but it's okay. Cold tones and warm mixes sometimes give that perfect accidental genius look. Here we go. Yellow ochre, a splash of permanent red, and some alizarin for the base. On this compact metal palette, they blend like butter on warm toast. Let's talk color mixing. When you combine yellow ochre with permanent red, you get a warm, earthy orange, ideal for capturing that golden glow in a Venetian sunset sky. Mix yellow with alizarin crimson, and you'll get a more vibrant rosy orange that adds depth and drama. Always mix on the palette, not the paper. It gives you better control. Start with the lighter color, then slowly blend in the darker one. With these high-pigment, vibrant watercolors, just a touch is enough. They blend like a dream and stay luminous, even when diluted. Perfect for glowing skies and soft transitions. We take now the big Insparea brush. Yes, it's in the kit! It holds plenty of water, which is perfect for creating large flowing washes. Let's dip it into our finalized mix for the sky. A soft blend that feels light and glowing, like early evening light. We begin at the top of the page with warm tones. Yellow ochre mixed gently with a touch of permanent red. Using broad horizontal strokes, we let the color flow naturally across the surface. As we move downward, we slowly introduce cooler shades, maybe a little cobalt or ultramarine. This creates a gentle gradient from warm to cool, just like the shifting sky over Venice. Now we add a hint of cold alizarin crimson, one of my favorite colors. It leans into violet tones and brings a beautiful mood to the cooler part of the sky. Let it blend gently, don't force it. Watch how the colors meet and melt together. Continue down the page with smooth transitions. Keep your strokes fluid, allow the water to do part of the work. Let the colors breathe, fading into each other like dusk settling in. And while everything is still wet, this is the best time. Add small adjustments. Deepen a color here, soften an edge there. Your sky is alive now. Let it tell its own story. Next, the cathedral. Wet on wet style, so I've got to move quickly. I mix alizarin, ultramarine, and brown. Wash it gently. Now the background is already wet, so we're using the wet on wet technique. That means we're dropping color onto a damp surface. This helps everything stay soft and dreamy. I'm preparing a very diluted mix. Alizarin crimson, ultramarine, and a touch of burnt sienna. Not much pigment, just enough to suggest the cathedral shape without making it too bold. Let the paint softly flow into the wet surface. No sharp lines here. The edges should melt naturally. That's what gives it distance. In aerial perspective, the further things are, the softer and lighter they look. This keeps the focus on the foreground and makes the background quietly beautiful. It spreads out like Venetian fog. Soft, mysterious, a little romantic. Don't stress if your paint strays from the lines. That's watercolor for you. Free, flowing, and full of surprises. Now we're preparing a subtle gray-green for the lamp holder. I'm using moody blue and burnt sienna, mixing them gently on the palette. Together they create a beautiful muted shade with just a whisper of green. It's perfect for metal, soft, aged, and elegant. We begin the wash from the top of the holder, using smooth strokes. Keep the brush wet, but not dripping. As we move downward, I'm adjusting the tone, adding more blue or sienna to shift the shade slightly. This subtle variation adds richness and form. Try to stay within the lines, this part needs focus. Now, moving to the lower part, we shape each curve carefully, deepening shadows as we go. Let the brush follow the form, fluid and precise. Shades of gray everywhere, but interesting ones, like 50 shades of Venetian street lamp. I vary the tones, try different shapes, and keep the brush moving. Somewhere between patience and play. You don't want to mix them into a flat color. Let it stay a little uneven, a little alive. That's what gives grays their magic. Now, when applying the paint, try not to overwork the area. Avoid brushing the same spot again and again. Each time you touch the paper, pigment lifts and muddies the color. Instead, think of it like guiding the paint, pulling the drop gently downward, letting it flow. Start from the top of the holder and glide the brush down along the form. As you move lower, you can add slightly more pigment to darken the tones, especially in the recessed areas or under curves. Now and then, dip back into your palette and adjust the mix. Maybe a little more blue if it gets too warm, or a tiny bit of sienna if it feels too cold. Keep the color dynamic but in harmony. Pay attention to the rounded shape of the holder. It's subtle but important. Don't lose it under too many layers. Let the brush follow the curve gently, keeping that elegant flow of the original drawing. And remember, you don't need to fill every part. Leave a few highlights untouched to let the light breathe through. This helps create depth and form, like the metal catching shadow as it curves away from the light. At this point, it's all about control, precision, and the right gray tone. I'm refining the edges with a smaller brush, just enough water to glide smoothly, but not too much to lose control. The gray I'm using is a careful balance: moody blue, a touch of burnt sienna, and a hint of water to keep it soft but defined. We want it neutral, not too warm or cool, so the holder looks elegant and natural. Stick closely to the outlines. This is where the form really sharpens. Let the brush follow the lines gently, shaping each curve and shadow. This stage adds clarity. It's not about overpainting, it's about enhancing what's already there. Take your time. Each touch should have purpose. Small adjustments here will bring the whole piece together beautifully. Onto the lamp tops. I use a green coppery mix, just a touch of green added to my base. Super relaxing, super meditative. You paint, you breathe, you learn. That's the Insparea way. Now let's just enjoy the painting process. I'll pause the commentary for a few moments, feel the brush, the colors, and let it flow. Now back to the cathedral. Let's add volume. Darker mixes help define distant windows. Even under the hovering camera, yes, filming this isn't as peaceful as it looks. I managed to focus and keep those strokes flowing. Violet again, so elegant on this paper. Rich, pigmented, juicy, lamp glasses time. Alizarin plus yellow ochre plus lots of water equal to transparency magic. Each lamp should look slightly different. That's my golden rule. No clones in art. Final touches. Time to polish. I darken the shadows, outline a few parts with precision. Remember, if you mess up, just lift it with a tissue while it's still wet. Watercolor is forgiving, and Insparea paper gives you enough wiggle room for happy accidents. It's time for refinements. You can start adding details, but remember, not too many. Everyone decides for themselves how far to go. It's a personal choice, and there's no right or wrong here. Let yourself slow down. Meditate on each brushstroke, enjoy the music, and simply follow the flow of the video. I'll stop talking for a while and enjoy the process with you. Let the painting guide you, and let the details emerge naturally. Wooden sticks, lamp details, background refinements. This is where the magic really settles in. The quality of the Insparea materials, the step-by-step guide, the peaceful process. I get why people fall in love with watercolor. It took me about 30 minutes, well, plus a bit of filming stress. But the joy? Totally worth it. Thanks so much for painting with me today. Check out more lessons, and don't forget, Insparea Kit is here to make your creativity effortless, colorful, and fun. Link in description. See you in the next video. And remember, every brush stroke is a step toward confidence. Done. Third Insparea lesson, complete. I'm so proud of it, and hopefully this helped you see how doable it is.